I added just a littlest bit of water to the background. I started making my colors. You can bring a stool over. You're either going to be working on this in front of you or you're watching this. Or you can start painting. And I have extra palettes over here. So if you want to grab watercolor palettes, I have extra brushes. So when I talk about blocking out color, because the bird is really dark, and even his little, I think it's called a gusset, the little neck part is actually brown, I can actually paint over him. Most of the time I tell you leave him white so you can come back later. But I can actually paint over him in some areas for the background and not worry about his shape so much because he's darker than the background.
Is your paper wet?
Not yet, just where I put my brushes. And the only reason I gave it a little color is so people can see it. But I'm really trying to thin my colors out as much as I can. Now, this paper will absorb the water, and you can pick it up too, which I should probably go get some. But I have a window of time where I can put stuff down and still pick it up. So I'm going to take a little bit of green, and I can kind of paint around where I want my bird to be. And I don't have to be perfect because I can always repaint my bird. Just kind of want to outline where he should be.
Do you want to outline him and color it in?
I'll come back and paint him in later because he's pretty dark. Oh my gosh, get off your phones.
Outline it first.
You don't have to outline. I don't want you to outline. Like I said, you guys are addicted to lines. Get away from them. You have to get away from them. It's like you're addicted to your phones. Get away from them. And you can see I'm just kind of blotching in. So I know where my bird should be. I've kind of laid out a little space and I left it white. His feather, his wing's going to be like right here. Now I haven't really set in stone anything. I've just laid, this is color blocking. Does that make sense?
How do you make his body?
How do I?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it right now.
Also, you did.
So what you're just putting down the color that's like around the bird, and then once it dries, and you'll just start the bird.
I painted around where I think the bird should be.
Not the shape of it?
See how it's kind of like,
Why did you pick the shape of the bird?
I kind of painted around the bird. Like I did a negative space of the bird. It takes practice. Like I said, I think the bird should be right here, so I kind of painted around where I think the bird should be. It's like I kind of visualized where I think the bird should be. And some people go, I have to have a pencil line. Well, I'm telling you, you don't have to have a pencil line. You just paint. The painting police are not going to come get you if your bird doesn't look perfect. And after we let this dry, and after we work on the background more, we're going to come in and actually paint the bird over the top. So this is just kind of giving us a general shape. There are times, if this bird was white, and we want it to be white, I actually have this rubber masking fluid we put down, and then when everything's dry, we pull it up, and that bird edge will be perfectly white, and it'll be a perfect shape. But that stuff's really expensive, and it smells bad, so I don't want you to get it out and not know how to use it. So we're just practicing. We're taking our first couple steps into this. Okay, so do you see how this is really just soft and gentle? Now I want to add some of the dark color in here. So I'm going to take a little bit of dark blue and make it purple, I think. And you notice I'm not going, oh, I have to have dark purple, bam! Okay, I just want a little bit of blue and a little bit of purple. Add some water. Kelsey, you wanna come watch? And watch, as soon as I put it in here, it's gonna get darker and I'm gonna push it around a little bit. Another thing about watercolor, you do not have to paint to the edge. Now, you also have this flower that's out of focus behind him. I can keep building my layers up and create that flower too in like kind of a negative space.
See, there's all flowers here.
See that thing there? That blurry flower?
Mhm.
See how I'm kind of building it up around it? Right here. But we're not in a hurry. We're just gonna work slowly. I don't wanna, it doesn't have to be detailed to start. So I'm just working, and that's how slow it is. This is not a race. If you came in and showed me this Monday, or when I see you you took a picture and you showed me Monday, you said this is all I did, I would probably be jumping up and down, ecstatic, because you're taking your time, you're being slow, you're concentrating. Best thing you can do, okay? I would rather you do it right and enjoy it than rush through it and do something really crappy, okay? Does that make sense? Watercolor's kind of weird like that. You'll appreciate the acrylic paint so much more if you learn this first. You'll find that there's so many little nuances to other paints when you learn this one that's fairly hard. That doesn't mean oh, look at that strong blue that I just threw down. So you put a little too strong a blue down, go, hey, I'm gonna come in here and just, now, is anybody comparing this with anyone else's? Has anybody ever seen this before outside of this class? Nobody cares. So maybe I wanna throw in some of this over here. Now we gotta go back to remembering that when our paper's wet, the surface can be very delicate, so we have to be kind of cautious. Wherever the water is, the paint's gonna go. You can never add too much water. Dude, you guys, get off of your phones. You're gonna drive me insane. I only get you for a couple minutes a week.
What's your opinion on gouache?
I love gouache. It's probably one of my favorite paints. But, like I said, learn watercolor. I would use gouache in here if, like, to touch up something. And gouache is really expensive.
Squash is
It's like thick watercolor. If watercolor and acrylic had a baby, it'd be gouache. And it's really expensive.
that was a fruit.
That-
Sounds like a fruit.
So,
What's a squash?
I was gonna tell you something and I can't remember. You'd be happy.
I think over the head. Ooh, let's say you get a little too crazy and put some dark colors down. If you add water really quickly, you should be able to feather it out. So I'm not worried about mistakes. I'm just worried about making the attempt.
It looks cool without the bird.
Oh, I like the bird.
I'm just saying, like, right now it looks really cool with all the colors faded.
And literally, we just started. We worked on it. Maybe I've recorded for 9 minutes. So I could probably block that up a little bit.